How's it going, Yankee fans? Welcome back to Fireside Yankees with your boys, Alex and Ryan. So we got some winter meetings updates for you guys. I know everyone's waiting to hear the big news on Juan Soto. We'll give you guys our updates on that, of course, and obviously other players that the Yankees have been connected to and some other news that is currently going around in the media. Things are going to start heating up. Now, the expectation is that Juan Soto and the Yankees should re-engage, rather the Padres and the Yankees will re-engage on talks for Juan Soto today, tomorrow. Like, things are ongoing. Now, we know the Blue Jays have entered the fold, but we don't think the Blue Jays are legitimate players, mainly because we would have heard any actual names. Like, they would have been exchanging names. You may have heard some news on who they were thinking of floating in a prospective deal. We know that they're not really going to be looking to extend Juan Soto, so this would be a move to compete in 2024. But I think the Yankees, have the intention of trying to extend him beyond next season, and I think that the Blue Jays probably aren't in that realm of possibility. So I do think that right now the Yankees do have the leverage. We've heard the names. We'll discuss them, kind of go through any new updates after yesterday's episode, where we kind of discussed the big 6-7 player package that the Yankees were like, yeah, no thanks. We're going to walk away from the table on that one. Included, Michael King, Clark Schmidt, Drew Thorpe, a lot of guys. I know the top 10, Baseball America's top 10 prospects just fell and just dropped. And, you're seeing the Yankees have a really good farm system. I mean, for goodness sake, Drew Thorpe, who we know is a great pitcher, who was a great prospect, and Austin Wells, who's a tremendous catcher prospect, aren't even in our top 5 prospects. Like, this group is very good. I don't know why people question the depth and the talent in this farm system. And if you need any place to go, Ryan breaks down these prospects at a level that is unprecedented, and we know that these guys are freaking good. We know how talented some of them are, comparably to others. So I'll let you kind of get your take on that and any updates that you've seen in the media. Of course, there's some things I want to discuss about Cody Bellinger, the interest there, and kind of his price tag and why I think we should be staying far away from that. Before we dive into the good stuff, though, how you do today, my friend?
I'm doing good. I think if you're a Yankee fan, a lot of the unease regarding Juan Soto simmer down just a little bit. And let me make sure I can give fans some of the information that I know they want to hear right now. According to Brandon Weil of The Score, he covers the Blue Jays. He had tweeted out a video in which Shai Davis, who is a big reporter for the Blue Jays as well, said, "The sense I've gotten, unless that price changes from San Diego's current demands, I'm not sure the Blue Jays are involved, but everything in this market is very fluid. Things can change very quickly. So as of right now, they're not very involved. We'll see if that changes. Obviously, he hinted at the fact that could change. But given the fact that outside of Ricky Tiedemann, they don't really have enticing pitchers for San Diego, I'm not really sure if they're going to be able to compete with the Yankees for a deal. Now, again, if they offer Ricky Tiedemann, you definitely, if you're San Diego, you got to look into making that deal. And if you're the Yankees, you're going to have to up your offer. But, we've seen a lot of reports that the Yankees are reluctant to offer Drew Thorpe, reluctant to offer Michael King. Well, yeah, that's because, I don't mean to get disrespectful here, but Alek Manoah is not more valuable than either pitcher. Everybody can say he's young, he's a year removed from a Cy Young season. His sub-3 ERA season was not sustainable. He was absolutely terrible this year. There is no guarantee that the stuff is going to get better. And the off-field concerns are legit. Alex, the guy ditched his team when he was asked to report to AAA. I know some Blue Jays fans have mentioned to me he could have been not entirely healthy and he didn't tell the team. That's still an issue. Teams don't want to acquire that type of player. There's a reason why Alek Manoah has not been moved this offseason, and it's not because teams don't want to have an opportunity to buy low on a guy who is 1 year removed from a Cy Young season. It's because when your stuff isn't that good, and when you have one really good year underneath your belt that came with a lot of flukiness and came with hey, the peripherals say he's more of an average pitcher, teams aren't paying that price tag. They want to pay for Michael King instead, because Michael King has better stuff. Michael King, has more recent success. I know everybody's going to point to the fact that when Michael King was Alek Manoah's age, he was just a first-year player and he wasn't very good in 2020. But pitching age doesn't matter as much as people think it does, right? Both of these pitchers are still green relative to the innings pitch they have at the major league level. Alek Manoah has worse stuff. The upside is worse. Yes, there are a few years of control on Michael King, but teams are going to value him more. And then obviously, if you're offering one of Drew Thorpe or Chase Hampton, as you alluded to, Drew Thorpe is going to be a top 100 prospect on Baseball America, going to be a top 50 prospect on Baseball Prospectus, already a top 100 prospect on MLB Pipeline. And he's only the Yankees' number 7 prospect. So you go out to get Chase Hampton if you're the Blue Jays, if you believe that Chase Hampton is the better prospect. If you want to go out and get pitching, the Yankees organization's where you got it. Henry LaLane, that's a guy that people don't talk about enough. He was ranked number 8, and I am pretty sure that the Padres are going to be very interested in potentially acquiring his services, especially with the report coming out that they're willing to take some guys who are further away down their development. You have Brock Selvage, who was the Yankees organization leader in FIP, and he's only 21 years old. He turned 21 this past August. Richard Fitz Hendricks is kind of like the workhorse. Dudu probably profiles the fifth starter that eats a ton of innings and, has the upside to get some swing and miss stuff, but we'll see about the development of his secondaries. And then my personal favorite, Will Warren. I think Will Warren's a difference maker. I think Will Warren will be a difference maker this season, and I think the stuff supports that. And obviously, there were a flurry of moves over the last few days from the Seattle Mariners to clear payroll. There was some concern that could have been in preparation to go out and get Juan Soto, but Ken Rosenthal recently reported that the Padres will almost certainly balk at adding his $30+ million salary when guaranteed only 1 year of club control. And looking at their lineup, they need multiple players. So, Alex, all in all, it's looking like the Yankees are going to be the top bidders for Juan Soto. And if the Yankees have the best package out there, the Yankees are going to land Juan Soto. Who knows when? I know Buster only suggested that they may have to wait till like January, February, but the Padres are not a rebuilding team. They want to get pitching, and you can't spend money you don't have. And currently, Juan Soto has money that the Padres do not have. And if they want to go out and spend for pitching, they're going to have to move Juan Soto. So I would anticipate that a deal gets done this week. And if a deal gets done this week, I'm going to assume that's going to be the New York Yankees.
I mean, right now we know that they're the most aggressive. We know that they have the resources to get it done, and we know the Padres have to get rid of the money. There's no other way. I mean, look, if the Padres didn't need the money, if they were like, we're sticking with what we got, we're going to make a run at 2024 for a World Series, they would keep Juan Soto. Like, he is one of the best offensive players in the game. You keep him. You have Xander Bogaerts. You have Manny Machado. You can get a couple pitchers. If they did not have financial issues right now, this would not even be on the table. Juan Soto would not be on the table, but he is. And they're asking for a lot in return because the truth is that AJ Preller is doing his best to hide the fact that they need this money. They have to get some more money. They need more pitching. They need controllable pitching. He's trying his best to hide the fact that they're in kind of a spot where they are at a disadvantage. Here's the thing, though, Ryan. They have time and the Yankees don't. The only piece of leverage that they have right now is that the Padres are not going into the free agent market and spending, right? They have all the time in the world. They are going to trade Juan Soto because they're going to trade him for MLB-ready pitching, whether that's Michael King or Clark Schmidt, to kind of smooth over the loss of Blake Snell and others. But, the reality is that they're not waiting to sign a free agent. Like, the longer they can make the Yankees wait on Soto, the better deal they're going to get, because the Yankees, if they don't get Juan Soto, are going to miss out on Bellinger. They're going to miss out on some of these other guys, but I don't think that the Yankees are looking at it that way. Brian Cashman's like, we don't care about, if we have to wait for Juan Soto. We're still going to go get Yamamoto. We're still going to go get Kevin Kiermaier if that's the guy we want to fill center field for the time being. They're going to go get these guys no matter what. And that's the play the Yankees need to make, is say that we don't need to be outweighted by you. Like, you're not going to outweight us. We're going to go and make our deals anyway. We're going to go make our acquisitions. We're going to go sign these guys. And when you're ready to bring the price down because no one else is at the table and you need to get rid of the money, you need to get rid of that salary, we're going to be here waiting for it. So I think the Yankees do have that piece of leverage too. But let's talk about Cody Bellinger for a second, because I know Brendan Cuddy of The Athletic said that the Yankees are still, keeping eyes on Bellinger. Bob Nightingale of the USA Today said that he's looking for a contract in excess of $250 million. Guys, for the love of God, this would be the biggest mistake that we could possibly make. Bellinger is a great player, right? When he is on, he's a great player. Now, comparably to Juan Soto, it's a totally different scenario, because you have Bellinger, who has one great year in the last 3 seasons. He's played 150 games or more once since 2019, whereas Soto does it every single year. And, you look at the situation at hand, one's 28 years old, one's 25 years old. Bellinger's a much better defensive player than Soto. We know this to be true. And at the same time, I just don't see, $250 million over. I mean, how long do you think he wants? I don't even know. He's not worth $30+ million in my eyes. Let's even say $250 million divided by 6. That's $41.6 million. So if he's looking for $250 million over 10 years, you really want to be strapped with Cody Bellinger until he's 38 years old? No, of course not. Who's paying him $35 million on an 8-year deal? Ryan, do you think that the $250 million idea that's being floated out there is even closely true? Because I can't even from a perspective of an agent, that's just blatant stupidity. You're overvaluing a player. I guess you're trying to get in that realm or somewhere in that range. But it's almost just like we all know he's not worth that. Nobody, why not come in at a relatively reasonable cost, maybe a little bit more, obviously. But 250 is just stupendous. It's just you're the best player on the market. You have major cautionary tales. Your hard hit percentage is the lowest it's been. Your barrel percentage is the lowest it's been. Your average exit velocity is the lowest it's been. And you haven't been this good for more than 2 consecutive seasons since 2019. What are you really doing here? What are your thoughts on that? $250 million for Bellinger. that is like a classic Yankee mistake. I think we've learned our lesson. Don't go down this road.
Yeah, I mean, look, I want a night with Dua Lipa, and Cody Bellinger wants $250 million. Both things are not happening, and, you can wish for them all you want, but they're not happening. Respectfully, he's not getting $250 million. I mean, what's his market? The Cubs want to bring him back, and when the team that you've bid on in the last season does not want you back, that does a lot for your market. Negative stuff for your market, most notably, because you can't just go back to the team and say, hey, you're the only one who can sign him without having to attach a qualifying offer. Why don't you just, stick with him? That's not a situation that Cody Bellinger is in. Cody Bellinger can take the qualifying, Cody Bellinger, I believe, has the qualifying offer attached to him. I don't think you want to spend multiple picks to have to acquire him and then spend $200+ million. And then looking at, maybe the San Francisco Giants are involved, but they seem focused on Yoshinobu Yamamoto. They seem focused on Jung-Hoo Lee. They seem focused on Shohei Ohtani. And maybe they have a chance at Juan Soto if the Padres are willing to trade in division, but I'm going to doubt that because of the lack of pitching talent in their system. Overall, I mean, Alex, what's his market, right? Like, if you're Boris, you're begging that the Yankees don't get Soto because you need somebody to sign him. Maybe the Blue Jays are interested. That hasn't necessarily been confirmed yet, nor has it been confirmed they're going to spend $200 million. And also, he's not going to be their center fielder. That's going to be Dalton Varsho because he's the better defender, right? Like, I know that trade, people have looked at that as a disaster, but Dalton Varsho might be one of the best defensive center fielders. He might be the best defensive center fielder in baseball. I might go that far. That might be the only good thing I'll ever say about the Blue Jays on this podcast. But with that being said, there's just not a market for Cody Bellinger. Who else wants him, right? Like, Dodgers, no. Padres can't spend for him. Are the Red Sox, the Mets? No, none of these teams want him. So who's going to give that money to him? Now, if Cody Bellinger's market falls, and let's say he's willing to take a 5-year, $110 million deal, I'm signing that. Like, I'm bringing him in instantly, right? Because at that price tag, I'm getting a plus defensive center fielder. I'm getting a guy who I think can give me a 110 to 115 WRC plus. And I am bringing in a guy who the raw power at this point suggests he would play better at Yankee Stadium because he doesn't hit the ball hard enough where you would say, well, he gets out anywhere, right? Like, I'm going to use, Juan Soto as the example here. The ball for Juan Soto is going to get out anywhere, right? Like 314, 325, 330. He's going to hit the ball over the fence, right? That's a reality. Cody Bellinger's not in that case. So, would Cody Bellinger be a good fit for Yankee Stadium? Perhaps. Am I paying $200 million for him? No, I'll pay like half that. And I think he's going to have to realize that at some point. Again, maybe the Giants are willing to give him more money. But, like, who's his market? Like, Carlos Rodon got $160 million, but there was a market for him. Like, the Yankees wanted him. The Giants wanted to bring him back. The Twins wanted him. Who wants Cody Bellinger? Alex, do you see anybody who wants him? If nobody wants you can't ask for $200 million. You're going to get the richest contract ever handed out to a free agent center fielder? Hell no. Absolutely not. Yeah, I wouldn't even give him Brandon Nimmo money. He's not better than Brandon Nimmo when Brandon Nimmo hit the market. If the Yankees wanted to sign an outfielder, they should have just signed Nimmo, right? And I don't think they're going to go, hey, we didn't want to pay Nimmo, 8 years, $162 million. Here's 10 years, $200 million to Cody Bellinger. I get it. Bellinger's young. Maybe you could do a 6-year, $120 million deal, make it $20 million a year. But it's just the injuries, right? Like, he's not injury prone, but he's had some tough ones. He relies on mechanical stuff that I'm not necessarily sure will be sustainable. $200 million for Cody Bellinger is just, it's ridiculous. It is a ridiculous asking price.
250, not even 200. Freaking ridiculous. So, missed me with that. Go with anybody else. That's just a contract that it just screams Jacoby Ellsbury. It screams like a deal that's going to go in the wrong direction fast. You go with the guy that's more proven. I think that Juan Soto is more proven from a perspective of consistency. Now, a lot of people question the defense. Listen, I am willing to trade bad defense for Hall of Fame offense any day. Guys, the Yankees lost games last year because their offense was bad. Jake Bauer stunk defensively. Billy McKinney stunk defensively. What else do you need to see? IKF stunk defensively. These guys were terrible. But I don't think you guys are going to look back and say, we lost because of those errors in the outfield. No, we lost because we couldn't freaking hit the ball. We lost because we couldn't hit. Not because those guys had like a -6, -7 defensive run saved. We didn't lose because of that. It didn't help. We lost because those guys couldn't hit for shit. That's why we freaking lost games. The outfield next season has an opportunity to go in a direction that we could see some sort of overhaul that we haven't seen in years. Judge, Soto, and then eventually you're going to get Jason Dominguez back. I mean, like, that's it's exciting. And like that's not even to mention in center field if you go get like a Kiermaier who's a supplement, or a Jung-Hoo Lee who's like ridiculous and could be a really nice player at I don't know what his cost is going to be coming from the KBO, but we'll see how that kind of market develops here. But the truth is that the Yankees, like, they know they have Garrett Cole on a Cy Young award. They have Aaron Judge coming off an MVP in 2022. They have a couple prospects rising through the ranks who have really, really great upside. If they waste Judge and Cole's primes like this, and they're both headed toward the middle part of 30, Cole's already there. If they waste those two talents and they don't make it to a World Series, if they don't even make it close to one, we're going to remember this time, Ryan. We're going to remember this time. When we had Derek Jeter, when we had Bernie Williams, when we had some of the superstars of the past, Alex Rodriguez, we made it to the World Series. We just make it. We won them. You can't fail to make it to the World Series with arguably the best player on earth in Aaron Judge and one of the best pitchers on earth in Garrett Cole. You can't fail. Like, you can't do this. This is what the Yankees have to do. They have to go out and get those stars to support them, because that's what they've done. Through our whole history, they add those pieces when the time is right, and they push for that World Series. Steinbrenner's got to roll back the clock, and I think he is. I think he's giving Cashman the green light to go out and do what needs to be done to make this team legitimate, like really freaking good. And we know that Juan Soto and Aaron Judge together can carry an offense. Judge did it alone at times last year, carried our offense. You add a player like Soto to the mix, those two guys will carry you in the postseason. When games are close, it's a 2-1 game. Those two guys are the ones that are going to hit those home runs. Those are the guys that are going to get on base and make an opportunity happen. Those are the guys that make a difference. Baseball is a team sport, but there are a few individuals scattered about each and every team, maybe not even every team, maybe every other team, that are capable of changing the course of a playoff game. And those two guys are the ones you want in the batting order when it comes down to it. So I'm certainly excited to see what the Yankees do. The winter meeting's ongoing, obviously. Any new updates and news we have, we'll get you guys all that information promptly. As always, always happy to hear your perspectives down below in the YouTube comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Yankees episode.